Meanwhile, Burlington won the toss. They have decided to kick off, so they have deferred. The Beat Diggers will move from right to left, dressed in their home maroon, with those maroon pants and the yellow stripes across the side and the maroon helmets. I'll be joined by Dave Uhrig a little bit later on in this first quarter. And to kick it off for Burlington will be Cameron Gately, the 5'10", 136-pound junior. And he boots it with that right foot. It's going to land at the 13-yard line. It's hit by O'Kelly. He picks it up at the 2, retreats to the 1. No running room. He gets to the outside. He's down at the 6. Terrible field position to start the drive for the Beat Diggers, tackled by Cody Martins, the 5'10", 168-pound senior. Here is how Burlington sets up offensively. The quarterback is Josiah Medley. In the backfield are Barrett Hendricks and J.T. Hernandez. The wide receivers are Randy Jacobucci and Zeb Walkinshaw. The tight end, A.J. Worden. And I'm giving you that when the Beat Diggers have the football, so I'm off to a bad start here. 1st and 10, Joe Ginther, the quarterback, with a back split. Man in motion to the right is Neil Samples, handoff right side. That might be Geno in the game, and it's a gain of 3 to the 9-yard line. And check it was Nate Hepner, although Geno is in that backfield along with Nate Hepner.
In the middle of the line.
Well, now they say it was Geno. Geno wearing 42, Hepner 40. Now the Beat Diggers offensively. Let's get it right here. Kyle Temple, the tight end. The flanker, Bobby Gutierrez. Neil Samples, the wide receiver. We mentioned Ginther, the quarterback. Hebner and Geno in the backfield on the offensive line. Josh Steele, Adam Hinojos, Matt Menier, James Ginther, and David Cummings. 2nd down and 7 Beat Diggers from their own 9. Hebner in motion to the left, and a handoff and a pit pull up the middle for Geno. Quick tackle at the 30. He's into the secondary. First down across the 40 to the 41. An incredible run right up the gut for Greg Geno. The tackle was made in the secondary by the same man who made the tackle on the kickoff, Cody Martins. It's a gain of 32 and a huge hole created by that Beat Digger offensive line, and that's what they have to do, play power football against this power team. After this play, we'll tell you about the Burlington defense and then reintroduce that offense when they have the football. 1st and 10, back split, the pitch left. This is Bobby O'Kelly, gets a block to the outside, but he's down after a gain of 2, and that's the definition of a solo tackle made by Burlington's Justin Sandoval, the 5'10", 164-pound sophomore. For O'Kelly, it is a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Burlington defensively on the line with Chad Van Marth, Logan Feldhausen, Nick Reinhardt, and Justin Hemphill. The 4 linebackers, Barrett Hendricks, Justin Sandoval, A.J. Worden, to go along with Colt Reent. And in the secondary, Cody Martins and Bobby Cruz, the cornerbacks. J.T. Hernandez is the free safety. 2nd down and 8 for the Beat Diggers at their 43. Joe Ginther turns around, calls a timeout. 10:25 to go in the opening quarter. No score from Beat Digger Stadium. Back in 30 seconds on KSIR. John Beltran back at Beat Digger Stadium in Brush with the Beat Diggers on their opening drive. Got a big 32-yard run from Greg Geno. Still have the football. 2nd down and 8 at their own 43. Joe Ginther elected to call a timeout, again wearing the number 4. That's teammate J.R. Finley's number, who's done for the season with a broken leg. 2nd and 8 on the left hash mark. The handoff up the middle. Big hole for Geno, right side. Breaks the tackle the 45. Into the secondary once again. Tackled at the Burlington 47. That's a 1st down for Geno. It's a gain of 10. And this young player continues to run extremely hard. He's got 45 yards on 3 carries. Dave Uhrig will be here momentarily, as we told you, providing the incredible insight that he has throughout the course of the season. 1st and 10, Beat Diggers at the Burlington 47. Ginther back to pass. Here's the protection, breaking down, throw over the middle. O'Kelly open, but he falls down at the 28-yard line. He had a step on the defender, Justin Sandoval. It floated up there for Ginther, and with the wind blowing, I believe it's somewhat of a crosswind. Got to check it out here and get the official report on this 56-degree Saturday afternoon. It certainly affected the flight of that football. O'Kelly is now to the game. And also out of the game is Kyle Temple. 2nd down and 10 from the Burlington 47 under center. Ginther will hand it off left side, and hit at the line of scrimmage is Greg Geno. He was tackled there by Justin Hemphill, the 6'4", 200-pound senior defensive lineman. That'll make it 3rd down and 10.
2nd and possibly 11.
A passing situation undoubtedly for the Beat Diggers.
Third and 11.
From the Burlington 47, but remember, this drive started at their own 6. So they've been able to move the ball 47 yards. Receiver split out to the right. O'Kelly now in motion to the right. The handoff to O'Kelly on the end round has a hole to the outside, but it's going to fall short of the first down to around the 42. It's a gain of 5. He was tackled over there by Justin Sandoval, and they will give him the 43. They'll backtrack it a little bit. Gain of 4. It'll be 4th down and 6. And I assume, you never know with the Beat Diggers, they can take gambles once in a while, and head coach Randy Dreitz, that they will punt the football, and they will. And a punted for the Beat Diggers is Jose Cardenas, standing at his own 44. The snap is perfect. He gets the punt off, and it's very short and off to the right, and that one is going to go out of bounds. It's a very, very poor punt for Jose Cardenas. That might have gone 10 yards. Let's see where the officials mark it. He kicked it to the right side towards that Burlington bench. And the ball will be marked at around the 33-yard line. So it is a 10-yard punt with 8:37 to go in the opening quarter. Burlington, as we told you, with their quarterback, Josiah Medley. And Hendricks in the backfield. First down. There's the option left. He drops the football. It is loose, and the ball goes out of bounds as giving chase was Neil Samples towards the Burlington bench. It looked like that the quarterback Medley wanted to hand it off to Hendricks, with Hernandez being the lead blocker, but out of bounds all the way back at the 26. So it's a loss of 7. Credit that loss to Medley. 2nd down and 17. The wide receivers, as we told you, Jacobucci and Walkinshaw. The offensive line, Justin Hemphill, Brett Worden, Logan Feldhausen, Chad Van Marthen, Nick Reinhardt. 2nd down and 17 for the 26. Backs are split. The quarterback Medley handoff right up the middle. Very little for Hendricks. He's hit after about a 2-yard gain. He was bottled up by that Beat Digger defensive line and the linebacker Josh Deal. The Diggers defensively at the line, Drew Tedford, Adam Hinojos, Jared Marwitz, Matt Manier, and Kyle Temple. Deal, David Cummings, or the 2 linebackers, Bobby O'Kelly, Mitch Muniz, Neil Samples, and Tyler Ferrancini are in the secondary. We'll give him a gain of 2. 3rd down and 15 for Burlington with a football at their own 28. Backs are split. Medley rolling to his left. Wants to throw. He's a left-handed quarterback. Sets up throws. Complete. Short of a first down, however. Tackled at around the 40-yard line by, I believe that was Muniz in the secondary. Boy, wearing those white uniforms up, following that man all the way back to the huddle. And that appeared to be, well, nonetheless, it's a gain of 12. See if we can get that receiver. I had my eye on him the whole time and still couldn't pick him out. It'll be 4th down and 3 from their own 40, and they're going to go for it. At least they're setting up. Huge risk here for Burlington. 4th and 3 from their own 40 on their opening drive. Option, Medley hands it off short. He hands it off at the last second. A gain of 1 for Hendricks, and the Beat Digger defense stops him. What a huge gamble. And Brush gets the football over on downs as Hendricks unable to get the first down. And Brush will have the football at the 42. Officially will give him a 2-yard gain, but I just can't believe they took that gamble. I guess they're underestimating that Beat Digger defense. Boy, he really rolled to his left. He had to reach to give that handoff to Hendricks. 1st and 10 Beat Diggers from the 42-yard line of Burlington. Ginther on the counter, right up the gut. It's a gain of 1. And that one goes to Nate Hepner. 2nd down and 9. We have other games taking place today. Let's go back to the studio. Kevin Schaefer with the initial update of the day.
All right, thank you, John. Quickly in 1A, the Akron Rams on our sister station, B106. A short touchdown run from Aaron Lambertson. They lead Sanford on the road 7-0 midway through that first quarter. Back out to you.
2nd down and 9. No score between the Beat Diggers and the Burlington Cougars. 6:35 to go in the opening quarter. The Beat Digger defense just proved that they were true to the test. stopping Burlington. Pitch left to O'Kelly, gets the seam to the outside. A block for Fields. He hits the 35 to the middle to the 30. He is upended at the 24-yard line. It's tackled by Hendricks. It's a big gainer of 18 yards and a first down for Bobby O'Kelly.
But it is the first and 10 for the Brush Diggers.
Well, this is what the Diggers have got to do, beat Burlington at their own game. Right now, Brush with 3 first downs, and Burlington does not have one. First and 10, Brush, left hash mark at the Burlington 24. Triple set backfield, handoff up the middle to Geno. Boy, he's upended after a gain of 1. The tackle was made by A.J. Worden, the linebacker. He was the only man in the middle for Burlington, but was able to make the play. Second down and 9. The clock reads 5 minutes and 52 seconds to go. Opening quarter. The winner of this game will take on the winner of the Monte Vista Holy Family game. Kevin Schaefer will have an update on that game during halftime of our game this afternoon. Bobby O'Kelly, the receiver, to the right. Gutierrez to the left. In the backfield, Hepner and Geno. Hepner in motion to the right. Handoff middle. Geno, he had a big hole, but it was closed quickly as he crossed the 20 to the 19. Once again, that man, A.J. Worden, along with Justin Sandoval, was able to make the play. It's a gain of 4. Third down and 5, a very manageable situation for Brush as Joe Ginther gets play instructions from head coach Randy Bright. The mark to make is just inside the 15. Third down and a short 5. Beat Diggers in 4-down territory. Hepner in motion, gets the handoff on the end around. Big hole to the 15. First down as he cuts back to the middle and around the 13-yard line. The Beat Digger offensive line, especially on that right side, providing the blocks. And the tackle made over there by Colt Reese, the 5'8", 152-pound junior linebacker. But it's a gain of 6 for Nate Hepner. And a Beat Digger first down. Now Geno checks out of the game. The Beat Diggers with the ball at the 13, moving right to left from our vantage point. Gutierrez, the lone receiver, to the right. 2 men in the backfield, first and 10. Ginther hands it off in the middle, and a nice hole across the 10 to about the 8. That is Nate Hepner, who was tackled around the ankles by Nick Reinhardt, 6'3", 270-pound senior defensive lineman. They'll give him the 9. A gain of 4 for NH, and it's second down and 6. Meanwhile, the Beat Diggers using up some clock here. They've consumed nearly 3 minutes on this drive, even though it started in Burlington territory at the 42-yard line. Receivers split left and right. Gutierrez to the left, Samples to the right. In motion to the left is Samples. Handoff up the middle. Hepner splits the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Not a second. Great penetration by Nick Reinhardt, and he goes down. They might just give him the line of scrimmage. And that'll make it third down and 6 for the Diggers. It definitely did not have a hole there at all. Coming in with play instructions for the Beat Diggers is Drew Tedford. Checking out is Kyle Temple. They're in the red zone. Third down and 6 from the 9-yard line. They've got to get to the 3. O'Kelly's in the backfield along with Hepner. In motion to the right is Samples. Ginther over the defense. Back to pass. Play action. Looking left. Going to run the football up the middle. And he's down at around the 7-yard line. He saw a hole that was closed very quickly by Logan Feldhausen, the 5'10", 217-pound senior defensive lineman. He gets to the 7, so it's a gain of 2, fourth down and 4. And you got to believe here the Beat Diggers are going to go for it. It's hard enough to kick field goals at the high school level, and the Beat Diggers obviously don't have that as a strong suit. They have dominated in the early going here. 2 minutes, 53 seconds to go in the first. Fourth down and 4 from the 7. Looked like there was some movement there. Ginther back to throw, looking left. He's got pressure. He's going to have to get out of it. Rolls to the right, gets a block from O'Kelly. Still rolling, throwing on the right. Man out there. Complete. Touchdown in the right corner of the end zone to Bobby Gutierrez. An amazing play by Joe Ginther, who was nearly hit in the backfield. It's a 7-yard touchdown pass from Ginther to Gutierrez. The Diggers lead 6-0 with 2:39 to go in the opening quarter. Holy mahungus. I mean, that was beautiful. Ginther has thrown 4 touchdown passes in less than 4 quarters. He had 3 last week. Ginther to attempt the extra point. The snap is down. The kick is up. It's blocked. blocked in the middle, and excellent penetration by Nick Reinhardt to block the Joe Ginther extra point. Nonetheless, the Beat Diggers on the board, 6-0 over Burlington, back in 30 on KSIR. 9 plays for the Beat Diggers and a very well-executed drive. 4 minutes and 27 seconds, a 42-yard drive, as we mentioned. There's the kickoff. It lands at the 12, and now it's fumbled at the 13, picked up, running across the field to the left, back at the 10, try to get to the 15, does down the left side out of the 20, a seam to the 30, back towards the middle, tackled at the 38-yard line. A tremendous return over there by Cody Martins, and the tackle was made by Brush's Josh Gutierrez. If he doesn't get him, he might still be running. That is a return of 25 yards to the 37, and that slowly quieted the Beat Digger crowd. They could have put Burlington in a very, very precarious position. So Burlington with 2 minutes and 28 seconds to go in the opening quarter, trailing 6-0. 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. There'll be a handoff to Hendricks, left side off the counter behind this big offensive lineman, across the 40 to about the 41, it looks like, maybe the 42, as David Cummings was on top of the ball carrier. But a nice pickup for the Cougars, and running back Barrett Hendricks. They'll give him the 43, actually. So it's 2nd down and 4. This is Burlington's game. They're not going to throw it a lot. They do have a left-handed quarterback, but that doesn't necessarily mean much. 2nd down and 4 from their own 43. Backs are split. Medley going to hand it off in the middle. That's a gain of 1, maybe. That was the secondary back. And J.T. Hernandez, the senior. Josh Deal around the football.
J.T. Hernandez.
3rd down and 3. They've got to get to the 47. The ball just short of the 44. The Beat Diggers moments ago scoring on a 7-yard pass on 4th down from Joe Ginther to Bobby Gutierrez. 2 receivers to the right. Backs are split. 3rd and 3. Medley, option left, will hand it off and hit at the line of scrimmage once again. Is Hernandez, and he goes down. Boy, he really rolls over there in order to get the handoff to the running back. Drew Tedford made the initial hit. That'll be 4th down, and Burlington has to punt the football. And what did Coach Randy Dwight say yesterday? All day during his interview, it seemed like all day with Pat O'Rourke, we have to play great defense. Well, so far, 2 drives. The Beat Diggers stopped Burlington on a 4th down, and they have not been able to get a 1st down. They're going to punt. Back at the 30 stands the punter who gets it off, and that is a gorgeous punt. Backpedaling and having the ball go off his right hand at the 10 and out of bounds at the 9 was Thomas Perez. Brock Mangus. Was that him, or was that Cody Martins who unleashed that punt? But that went a long, long, long distance. As a matter of fact, to be specific, it went out at the 6. Boy, that was one tremendous punt. 50 yards officially. The Beat Diggers have the football with 35 seconds to go in the first at the same spot that they started on their opening drive at their own 6. 1st and 10. Backs are split from the right hash mark. Handoff in the middle. Maybe a yard, and trying to break tackles now is Greg Geno. Beat Digger fans want a late hit, but the play was made over there by Justin Hemphill along with Barrett Hendricks. A gain of 1. That should be the final play of the opening quarter. Joe Ginther will watch the clock run down. He gets the signal from head coach Randy Dwight to let it run down. Brush is leading Burlington after 1 quarter, 6-0. We're back in a minute on AM 1010 KSIR. Thank you, Kevin. It's 6-0 Beat Diggers as we begin the 2nd quarter. John Beltran now joined by Dave Urich, who, Dave, I at least hope you were listening on the way here, getting excited about this game.
Well, I'll tell you what, we turned on the radio right about Fort Morgan, and that's when the game was started, and we're just glad to all be back here. I had about 5 boys with me, and everybody was in a big hurry to make sure we got back for the game.
And how about the Beat Diggers playing a very good first quarter, having to overcome what happened with Shiloh Briggs? I mean, they were talking about a guy who is not going to play in this game. You can see him right there. He's taking the wrap off his right knee, but colliding during a crossing pattern in pregame warm-ups, he can't get that knee back in place, at least the way he wants to. If the Beat Diggers overcome that, Dave, this could almost be termed as an upset.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I think that, we kind of talked about that last week where, the Beat Diggers were going to be underdogs going into this game. So with Shiloh out and be able to get a big win here, that'll be huge for Brush.
Well, the Beat Diggers have a second down and 9 to go from their own 7-yard line after an excellent punt by Burlington, which got him back to the 6. 56 degrees at game time, a slight wind right now. Beat Diggers have to hold on to the football here deep in their own territory. Handoff up the middle. That's maybe a gain of 2, perhaps 3 by Nate Hepner. Just shy of the 10-yard line, tackled by Barrett Hendricks. And we'll give him a gain of 2. And it'll be 3rd down and 7 yards to go, and a big play right now.
You bet, and it looks like Brush has got their power offense back there with Hepner and Geno, and I'm not sure if you talked about that, but what a huge thing for Brush to be able to put 2 quality fullbacks in their backfield.
Exactly. You don't want to lose Briggs, but if you can replace him with Geno, that's like having 3 solid backs. 3rd down and 7 from their own 9. Passing situation, perhaps. Ginther with a hard count. The pitch left to Hepner. Has a seam to the outside across the 15, and he's got a 1st down to around the 17, maybe the 18-yard line. The tackle was made over there by Zeb Walkinshaw, the 5'10", 137-pound senior defensive back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Burlington went ahead and blitzed their linebacker that was on the right side there out of their forefront defense, and he's the guy that's in charge of containment if they get past the defensive end, and when he blitzed in there, he hit Ginther right when he pitched the ball, and there was just nobody there to make the tackle except for DB back there.
Once again, Dave, this is about play calling. That's why I said passing situation, perhaps, because the Beat Diggers have been awesome with his play calling the last week and a half here.
You bet. The Diggers are just playing great, and their offensive line is doing a great job, and it's just really exciting to watch them play. A real fun offense to watch.
There's the pitch right to O'Kelly. The 20, the sideline to the 30. Down the sideline, he's tripped up at the 35-yard line. A gain of 18 for Bobby O'Kelly. Once again, Zeb Walkinshaw with a tackle. If he doesn't make the play, perhaps Dave and I are turning our heads to the right.
Exactly, and I'll tell you what, I got to brag about Bobby Gutierrez right there. He was playing the wideout over here on the right side. He ran down there and made a great stock block on the Burlington cornerback, and that's what allowed O'Kelly to pick up all those yards.
The Beat Diggers already with 6 first downs, and Burlington has the big donut. We've got 10:48 to go in the second. Brush leads 6-0. 1st and 10 from their own 35 on the right hash mark. Ginther instructing O'Kelly to line up to the right of Hepner. Man in motion to the right. That is Neil Samples. Quick handoff in the middle to Hepner. Pick hole across the 40. He's to the 45-yard line. The Beat Diggers using that power game as a tackle was made by Bobby Krause at the gain of 9.
Brush faked the pitch to the right side, so they faked their 58 pitch, and then they handed it back on a little trap right up the middle. And again, like we talked about for the last several weeks, all the teams have to respect the outside running game of Brush, and a lot of times when Brush can fake that pitch on the outside, it opens up the middle wide open.
And I know, like any football coach, 2nd and 1 is the situation here that coaches salivate at because they can run just about any play. Not necessarily wasted down, but you could. 2nd and 1 from their own 45. Geno with a backfield handoff, 1st down as he tumbles over a man to the 47. It's a gain of 2, but the man he tumbled over, A.J. Worden, made the play. 7th first down of the game for the Diggers.
You bet. What a nice job of blocking by the offensive line there. Geno was running kind of straight up and down, and that allowed the Burlington defender to get underneath of him and stop him dead in his tracks after he made the 1st down. But big 1st down for Brush there.
This is a Burlington team that just 2 weeks ago scored 29 against Eaton, 27 against Cedar Ridge. The Beat Diggers have not allowed Burlington to get the football. Here's the inside handoff to Hepner. He's tackled at the 50. A nice play over there. Another solo tackle, grabbing him around the ankles was A.J. Worden, but it's a decent pickup of 3 yards, 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I looked over here at the clock, John. We're down to 9:43, and Brush is keeping the ball out of Burlington's hands, so if their offense isn't on the field, it's going to be hard for them to score.
Absolutely. The Beat Diggers have really dominated time of possession, stats that we'll get to a little bit later on. Since Dave and I don't work with fancy computers, we do this all by ourselves here. 2nd down and 7. That ball is right at midfield, just the nose of the football over it. Geno is going to make his way to the backfield. Joe Ginther gives him instructions. He's a lone setback. Receivers split left and right. In motion to the right is Hepner, the handoff in the middle for Hepner, and he's bottled up after a gain of 2 yards. Barrett Hendricks around the football. Again, along with A.J. Worden, that linebacker, tough to block because he's been in on every play, but they give him the 47 to pick up a 3.
Actually, you know what, John? That was Greg Jano. He ran out there on the field right there before Joe Ginther stepped up behind the center, and he looked around, so he didn't have a fullback back there, and then all of a sudden here came Jano running on the field. So Jano knew he was going to get that ball for a total of about 5 seconds before he got it.
So Hefner with a gain of 3. Greg Jano there with a gain of 3. That sets up a 3rd down and 4 from the 47. Triple set backfield. Ginther, play action. Back to pass. Throws to the right. Complete, but short of a first down. It's only a gain of 1 at the 46 by Bobby O'Kelly. The tackle made by Colt Reese. 4th down and 3. Dave, are you a gambling man, or do you push this team back? They did have a 10-yard punt in the first quarter, and we know that special teams, as you pointed out last week, is Brush's weakness.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Coach Dreitz and his coaching staff has had they've had a lot of confidence in their 4th down conversions this year, and I don't know what their percentages are, but they're pretty high, so I don't doubt it if Brush goes for it.
Well, it was 1,000% last week, 1 for 1 so far today. 4th down and a short 4 for the 46. Pitch left to O'Kelly, taking it to the outside, uses his speed, first down across the 40. He's sitting to around the 37-yard line. Oh, Bobby O'Kelly with a strong run. That's a gain of 9 yards, and the Beat Diggers keep that drive going.
I'll tell you what, how exciting. You don't know what the Burlington coaches it's got to be going through their head. Like, are they going to run it up the middle? Are they going to throw it? What are they going to do here? And then Brush just fakes that dive and pitches it out to O'Kelly. O'Kelly uses his speed to pick up the first down.
It's such a timing play. It's amazing how Ginther can fake it like that and pitch it and always hit his man in stride as they have the football at the 37. Remember, this drive began at the 60, 11th play of the drive. 1st and 10, counter. O'Kelly nailed in the backfield, but he slips the tackle, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he does not. He's down at around the 39-yard line, and that was just tremendous penetration, Dave.
You've had a great defensive play by Burlington. Again, they had a little blitz going on there because I saw their right linebacker shot across the line of scrimmage, and he had containment there. It was amazing how O'Kelly was able to keep his feet, though, and he just about broke it loose. That's the kind of play where a fast guy like O'Kelly turns it into a touchdown.
Yeah, once again, it was this A.J. Worden. He might wear number 5, but he's going to end up with 50 tackles the way it's going out there. But that's good. If he ends up with 50 tackles, that means the Beat Diggers are going to have the ball quite a bit, as they've had the football this entire second quarter, and there's 7 minutes to go. 2nd down and 12 for the 39. Get their play action, back to throw. Protection breaks down over the middle. Intercepted by Worden at the 34. Running left to the 45. Breaks the tackle. He's at the 50. Tackle by Ginther at the 47-yard line officially. That's a return of 20 yards, and the first Beat Digger mistake of the game.
I'll tell you what, turnovers are gonna kill you in championship football. But what happened there is Neil Samples was wide open coming across the middle on a slant pattern, and I think he would, if he catches the ball, he's going to have that first down. But Joe just didn't quite get enough touch on the ball and get it over the top of the Warden's head, and it was just picked off. So the Digger defense going to have to dig in.
Well, they have so far in this game the 3rd possession for Burlington. They do not have a first down yet. 6:47 to go in the second quarter. Medley, the quarterback, is going to hand it off on the right side. This is a new running back with a seam to the outside to the 40-yard line, and he's down at around the 39. That was Cody Martin before the play was made out there by Mitch Muniz, but it's still a gain of 8 yards.
Yeah, Burlington just ran that pitch out to the right side, or actually a handoff to the right side, and they just did a real effective job of sealing off all the Brush defenders, and we didn't have anybody out there for containment.
2nd down and 2, the ball at the 39-yard line of Brush. Burlington trying to go in for the tying score. Medley is going to hand it off on the counter to Martin. Big hole down the right sideline to the 20. He's at the 10. He's being hung on to and thrown out of bounds inside the 10 to around the 7-yard line. That shove made by Tyler Ferrancini. If he doesn't make the play, then Martin's is gone.
You bet. That was going to be a touchdown there. And all Burlington did was they faked the dive right behind their right guard. They faked that dive, and then they turned around and handed it off to their next back coming through the next hole right behind the tackle. And there was just nobody there to make the tackle. The linebackers flew up to tackle the first guy, and they didn't know the second guy was coming.
The gain of 33 for Cody Martin's 1st and goal with the ball at the 6-yard line. The backs are split. Medley under center. Has the football, is going to hand it off to Hendricks in the middle. He has a yard and maybe a second as he's trying to drive to the 4-yard line, but several Beat Diggers hang on to the ball carrier. They'll only give him 1, 2nd and goal from the 5.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, listening on the radio on the way over here, I didn't realize what a big, powerful looking running back he is, and he's a big player. He's as big as any Digger that's out there on the field right now.
So you're saying I failed to point that out, but it's
I'll tell you what, he is big.
He is big. 2nd down and goal for the 5-yard line. Backs are split. Brush leading 6-0. Handoff in the middle to Hendricks. He's driving towards the 3. But again, the Beat Digger defense, particularly those linebackers and Matt Manier around the football along with Josh Deal, make the play. 3rd and goal after the gain of 2, and this is where playoff defenses really rise to the occasion.
You bet, that's right. And I wouldn't doubt it to see Coach Higgs over there go ahead and hand it to that big running back again right here. Either that or we're going to be seeing an option because the Diggers have got to fly up and respect that inside running game of the Burlington Cougars.
3rd and goal from the 3. Medley with a back split. Turn around, and we'll hand it off in the middle. And driving, is that a touchdown? The fans think so. It is. A touchdown for Burlington, right up the gut for Cody Martin from 3 yards away. And with 4:58 to go before halftime, the game is tied at 6.
Chance for a PAT opportunity here for Burlington to take the lead, and something we've talked about again for the last few weeks about how important it is to capitalize on those PATs and conversions.
The hold by Josiah Medley, the quarterback. Cameron Gately to attempt the extra point. There's the snap. It's down. The kick is up. Looks good from here. It is. 4:58 to go in the second. Burlington 7, Brush 6 on AM 1010 KSIR.
Let's get you updated here on AM 1010 KSIR. Eaton and Denver Christian in 2A. That game delayed a half hour because of bus trouble for the Reds. No change in Holy Family Montezista. Still 7-zip Holy Family there in 1A. Akron with a safety lead. Sanford 9-0. And Crowley County over Paonia 8-0. Back out to you.
Thank you, Kevin. Here, Burlington has the lead 7-6. 5 plays, 47 yards in a minute 49. Cody Martins from 3 yards away. Extra point was good. The Beat Diggers will receive the kickoff as the ball falls off the tee. We do have 4:58 to go before the break, and with Burlington receiving the second half kickoff, it's obvious that Brush here doesn't necessarily need to score. It would help, but just to gain some momentum, not give the ball back to Burlington, because, Dave, they take a 8-point lead, 7-point lead going into halftime. It's going to be dangerous for Brush.
You bet. You don't want to give up that kind of momentum either. Not just the points, but to give up momentum going into halftime can be dangerous.
Short kickoff fielded by Temple at the 36-yard line, running to his left, and he's down at the 37 as he is bombarded by several Cougars. And you wonder what the philosophy was there for Burlington kicking it off so short, because Gately certainly has a leg. They've given Brush pretty good field position.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and Temple was surprised to catch that thing. You can tell he's not used to running back kickoffs too much, but you have to give Burlington a lot of credit. I looked out there, I counted 3 Cougars that weren't in on that tackle, so a lot of gang tackling going on special teams for Burlington.
1st and 10, Beat Diggers at their own 37-yard line. There's the handoff in the middle, and nothing doing, maybe a loss of 1. Back to the 36-yard line, and that was Greg Geno, I believe. Was that Geno there, Dave? Or
yeah, I think it was Geno.
Boy, thrown back at the 36. We'll give him, once again, a loss of 1. 2nd down and 11.
Burlington's got 4 guys up there on the line of scrimmage, 4 real big defensive linemen, and they got a few crosses and pinches going on with those guys, and that time they happen to be crossing right into the hole.
Triple set backfield, 2nd down and 11. Ginther on the counter to O'Kelly, running left, big hole up the middle, but then he falls down. Is there a fumble at the 43? The referees are saying no, although the Burlington bench thought they had something going. It's a gain of 7 as the tackle was made by Burlington's Justin Hemphill, the 6'4", 200-pound senior defensive lineman.
Tell you what, there's a story right there about a size versus size, and that time Bobby O'Kelly kind of lost it because he went down kind of awkwardly there, like just grabbed a hold of him, and his legs kind of split, and he went down kind of weird.
It'll be 3rd down and 4 to go for the Beat Diggers at their own 43. Ginther on the pitch left. This should be a 1st down for O'Kelly as he flips the tackle at the 46, and he's to the 50. Bobby O'Kelly with some nifty moves, a gain of 7, and he certainly picked up the slack in the absence of Shiloh Briggs.
I'll tell you what, how neat for Brush. You know, every week we see Shiloh kick that big extra point 2 weeks ago. Last week we see a bunch of Diggers start coming through that weren't necessarily coming through earlier in the year. 3 different receivers catching touchdown passes, and now Bobby O'Kelly, not a lot of running the last few weeks, and he's coming in shining today.
No doubt about that, as the ball is at midfield, and now we have an official's timeout with 3:31 to go. And the Beat Diggers trailing 7-6. I guess a problem with the chains across the way. And it was, as we mentioned, 56 degrees at game time, but Dave, I have a feeling this thing's going to be dropping rather rapidly.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we just came from Denver this morning from the Colorado High School Wrestling Coaches deal, and it was raining up there when we came back.
1st and 10 from midfield. Hefner in motion to the left. Quick handoff to Geno right up the gut as he stumbles to around the 46-yard line. An excellent job of keeping his feet for Greg Geno. It's a gain, we'll call it, of 4 yards. Second down and 6 as Drew Tedford checks into the game.
Had a huge Nick Reinhardt, number 66 for Burlington defense, 270-pound senior. He's just kind of in the backfield every single play.
He's the difference in the game right now. He blocked the extra point attempted by Ginther after the Beat Digger touchdown. Second down and 6 for the 46. The pitch right to O'Kelly. Flips the tackle the 46. A seam to the outside, but cuts it back to the inside at around the 41. He picks up 5, but you wonder, Dave, if he made the right decision.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's easy to sit up here, and you and I are always saying that he should have ran outside or he should have ran inside. And that time to us, it looked like he should have ran outside, but it looked like O'Kelly must have thought he had a seam back up the middle. He tried to cut it back up and just ran into all the Burlington pursuit.
Just shy of the 41-yard line. We'll give him 4. Third down and 2 from the 40-yard line as Justin Sandoval made the play. Plenty of time to go for the Beat Diggers. 2 minutes, 20 seconds. They do have 2 timeouts remaining. On third down and 2 for the 42. Hefner in motion to the left. Ginther under center is going to hand it off quickly, and a first down to Geno, who fumbles the football. The Beat Diggers jump on it, and it's picked up by O'Kelly, who gets to the 33. He caught it on the dead run off the ground at the 40, and O'Kelly's been amazing this drive, Dave.
I'll tell you what, and right there, the way Geno fumbled the ball, he actually fumbled it backwards, and if the Diggers would have just fallen on it to make sure they had possession, they would have actually been a yard short of the first down. O'Kelly picks it up and gained 6 more yards, so luck on the Diggers side a little bit there.
I'm going to give O'Kelly 9 yards there, Dave, because statistically I'm not even sure how to do that. That's just the Beat Diggers, by the way, dominating this game but trailing in the scoreboard. First and 10, that football at the 32-yard line. In motion to the right is Hefner. 2 men in the backfield. Quick handoff to Geno, right side. Boy, he stood up at the 31. That was a great tackle over there by Justin Sandoval, the 5'10", 164-pound sophomore, and he just showed that not being that big, you've got to go low, especially in a big guy like Geno.
You bet, and Geno's learning a lesson now, too, that's going to be valuable for him, that he can't run straight up and down running through that line of scrimmage. He's going to have to lower his shoulder and put a pop on those guys, or they're going to hurt him.
Now the clock becomes a factor. 1:18 to go in the second. Second down and 9 for the 31. This is a pitch to the left. O'Kelly has a seam to the 25-yard line, trying to get to the sideline of the 20. Back towards the inside. A first down for Bobby O'Kelly at the 18. It's a gain of 13 for the Beat Diggers. And do we have Nate Hefner getting up, limping, it looks like, Dave?
Yeah, it looks like he's getting up a little slow. He was the only one back here right in the middle of the field on about the 32-yard line, and he was the last one up, and Joe Ginther went over there and kind of said, come on, Nate, get up off the ground. We need you here, buddy. So he's back in the huddle, it looks like.
1:08 to go. The Beat Diggers call their second timeout. Burlington 7, Brush 6. We return in half a minute on AM 1010 KSIR. John Beltran, Dave Urick back from Beat Digger Stadium in Brush, where the Beat Diggers in this Class A quarterfinal playoff game are driving towards the go-ahead touchdown. They're at the 18 of Burlington after having called their second timeout, trailing 7-6. They took the 6-0 lead on a fourth down pass from Ginther to Bobby Gutierrez, but then Martins for Burlington, Cody Martins with a 3-yard run. First and 10 for the 18 on the left hash mark. Ginther, play action, rolling to his right, looking for a man, setting up again, is going to run. He's going to get sacked. Back at the 20-yard line, it's a loss of 2, and the sack made by Colt Reese. And now they're going to have to call another timeout as the clock stops with 56 seconds to go. Second down and 12, and looking downfield, Dave, did Ginther have an option?
Yeah, it looked like Neil Samples was just coming open there in the back of the end zone, and he had somebody on his tail, but Neil was running away from him. I think Joe was tempted to throw it out there, but he saw that defender, and just with his intuition, he just decided it'd probably be safer to tuck it and run because he doesn't want to throw another interception.
Well, every play is different. That was the same play, basically, where he tried to improvise. There he ran. Before, on the touchdown, he had that same problem where he had a man coming in from his right, and he rolled out to his right and threw the ball with Gutierrez on the dead run. So it's funny how the same play can develop and look the same, and yet the quarterback makes a different decision.
Yep, and you don't know what's going through your head until you're out there doing it. So it's important to not be judgmental on Joe right there because he just stepped up and just felt like he was safe. And I'm sure after he threw that interception just on the Diggers' last drive, he's probably a little bit nervous about throwing anything that's not wide open.
Yeah, quarterbacks can get gun-shy when that happens, and you can't blame them there. But the Beat Diggers do not have any timeouts now. Second down and 12 from the 20. 56 seconds remaining. Ginther, the pitch left to O'Kelly. Gets a block from Deal to the outside. Has to get out of bounds. It does not. He's down at around the 19-yard line. It's a gain of 1. It'll be third down and 11. And the Beat Diggers are going to have to hurry back to the huddle and get a playoff rather quickly. The clock is now reading 37 seconds to go. They're going to have to go to the air here because they don't have those timeouts as we mentioned.
And it's going to be tough to do with that wind whipping around down there.
Get their play action. He's got pressure. He gets a block. Going over the middle. Pass is tipped. And it's deflected twice. Incomplete. Intended, it looked like, for Temple in the back of the end zone. But because of the fact the ball was tipped, another Beat Digger nearly had it at the 8-yard line. It's fourth down and 11. 25 seconds to go. And I guess you have nothing to lose here. You don't necessarily go end zone because you get a first down inside the 10-yard line at around the 7 or 6-yard line. You get one at the 8-yard line, actually, because that would stop the clock for the movement of the chains.
Right, they need to get this first down, and you know what? Diggers have had 2 guys open in the end zone in the same area, so look for him to throw the ball right over there again.
Fourth down and 11 from the 19. Ginther rolling to his right, needs a block, gets a block. Now he's going to be sacked. Back at the 25-yard line as the pocket collapses. There were 2 Cougars in on the play, and Nick Reinhardt, the big man you just mentioned a moment ago, was in to throw Ginther for a 6-yard loss, and the Cougars have the football over on downs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do here with 19 seconds left. You know, if they go ahead and try to throw a couple deep or not. And I look out here, I see that flag's kind of standing up and facing towards the east, so we got a little crosswind down there on the field. It'll be interesting to see if they try to throw it.
Well, to be honest with you, I'd be shocked if they try to throw the football. They do have 75 yards to go. They have 3 timeouts. But let's see what happens. Medley, the quarterback, first and 10 for the 25. With the football, is going to hand it off to his deep back, Martins, who scored the touchdown. He's across the 30 to the 32, brought down around the waist by Josh Deal. It's a gain of 7. They're going to call a timeout with 9 seconds remaining. They figure we've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, might as well try something. You know, they probably. I'm a little surprised that they're doing this, but you know, they figure, you know, there's not enough time here. If they do make a mistake, the Diggers aren't going to be able to score.
Exactly. You know what's distressing here, Dave? I think every football fan here, including the ones across the way for Burlington, would look at this half, say, well, Burlington leads by a point. But the Diggers really, I think, have dominated.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, just from hearing what I heard on the radio and then coming here, other than that one big run that they ran on that little veer play that they ran over there 2 series ago for Burlington, they haven't really done too much offensively.
Yeah, the Beat Diggers have controlled the time of possession. They've also outgained them significantly, and the halftime stats will reveal that. But they're down 7-6. That's the way football works, and we just hope that special teams will not be the significant factor in this game, because if it is, then that would be the one blemish in Brush's season that does not get them into the semifinals.
Boy, I'll tell you what, and that's why it's so, the 3 phases of football are so important. You can't just play offense. You can't just play defense. You see a lot of championship teams score a lot of points on special teams, and that's big.
No doubt about it. Second down and 3 from the 32-yard line. Medley on the counter, right side to Hendricks, and he's got a first down across the 35 to the 36. It's a gain of 4. Drew Tedford makes the play for the Beat Diggers. 6 seconds to go. I assume Burlington will call a timeout. They will. We'll take one as well. Back in 30 seconds, the Beat Diggers trail Burlington by 1 point on KSIR. Sean Beltran, Dave Urich back from Beat Digger Stadium in Brush. 6 seconds to go before halftime. Burlington leads 7-6, despite the fact the Beat Diggers have 10 first downs and Burlington only has 2. And now they're waiting to set up at the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers to the left. This could be desperation time, but looking at Medley, he doesn't appear to be the type of quarterback that can heave it out there at least even 40 or 50 yards, but who knows? I could be surprised here. First and 10, Burlington for the 36 towards the right hash mark. The backs are split. Medley with the football. He's a left-handed quarterback rolling left. Here comes the pressure. Runs away from Josh Deal. Still rolling towards the left sideline. He's at the 30. Wants to throw. He's at the 40, and he goes out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. And that is the final play of the first half. It's a gain of 9 for the quarterback, Josiah Medley, but it doesn't matter. We are at the break. It's a very tough defensive battle here in the first half. Burlington 7, Brush 6. We're back in 3 minutes on AM 1010 KSIR. A line drive kickoff towards the sideline, picked up at the 15 by Reeves, left sideline 20, seen to the 30, down the sideline to the 40, 1 man to beat, and he's down out of bounds at the 50-yard line. That's a touchdown saving tackle by Cardenas, but it's a return of 30 35 yards. Dave, special teams.
I'll tell you what, that's the thing. They got a nice short kick there. I think the Diggers were pretty happy not to kick to their supposedly good return men, and then their short guy ends up taking the ball and running down the field for just about a touchdown.
1st and 10 for Burlington at their own 50. The quarterback, as we mentioned, Josiah Medley. Cody Martins is now in that backfield as he was late in the second quarter, along with Barrett Hendricks. 2 receivers split to the right. The Beat Digger defense has played very well today, but is now being called upon to play even better. On 1st down, Medley with a long count is going to hand it off to the second man, Hendricks, in a big hole following his guard to the left side, down the sideline, 1st down to around the 30-yard line, maybe to the 29. Tyler Ferrancini and Drew Tedford around the ball, but it's a gain of 21 for Barrett Hendricks.
Right, and that time Burlington faked a handoff right up the middle, and it was kind of a trap play, and our linebackers kind of hung out there and were looking for that trap, and what they did is it was kind of like that long play that they had there for the touchdown earlier, where they faked it up the middle and then handed it off to the second back, who just ran off tackle on this near side.
1st and 10, Burlington from the brush, 29, leading 7-6 early in the third as we're just underway. This will be a counter to Martins up the middle, big hole to the 20. He's to the 10, nothing but end zone in front of him, touchdown. A touchdown for Cody Martins, his second touchdown of the game. 29 yards right up the gut. Burlington has scored the last 13 points of the game. They lead 13-6.
Yep, and that play there was some more misdirection by Burlington and some more fakes, some outstanding fakes to where the Diggers don't really know where the ball is. What they did is they faked the pitch to the right side and then turned around and handed off the dive back to the left side right up the middle, and there just wasn't any Diggers there to even touch him.
Cameron Gately to attempt the extra point. Awaiting the snap is Medley. The kick is up, and that one looks good from here. It is 11:26 to go, third quarter. Burlington strikes 34 seconds into the third, 14-6 over Brush on AM 1010 KSIR. 2 plays, 26 seconds, 50 yards for Burlington. Cody Martins, a 29-yard burst up the middle. Extra point good, 14-6. Cameron Gately with a low line drive kickoff towards the sideline, and it'll be fielded by Hefner and off his hands out of bounds at the 23. That might have been a case, Dave, that Hefner was not sure where he was on the field.
Right, and that ball was clearly going to go out of bounds, and unfortunately Hefner thought he could handle the ball and take off running with it and hopefully get back to the 35-yard line, but he didn't, and consequently the ball went off his hands, it goes out of bounds, and the Diggers get the ball on the 22 instead of the 35.
Well, the Beat Diggers now trailing by 8. Their biggest deficit last week was 6 against Lamar. Then they dominated pretty much from there on out. 11:26 to go in the third. 1st and 10 for Brush, shy of the 23. O'Kelly in motion to the left. The pitch right to Geno, tackled in the backfield. Back at the 20-yard line. That's because of the incredible penetration over there. Looked like a man out of the secondary. That was Colt Reams, the linebacker, and throwing Geno for a loss of 3.
Right, Cummings over here at that tackle. He was trying to pull out there, and he just got kind of caught up in some traffic. Couldn't get out there and make the block, and the Burlington defender just shot across and tackled him right in the backfield.
2nd down and 13 for the Diggers from their own 20-yard line. They did lead 6-0 early, but now it's 14-6 Burlington. Back split. The pitch left to O'Kelly. Gets a block from the outside, but not a second one. He's thrown for a loss of 1, and it's 3rd down and 14. And perhaps now, Dave, Burlington, it looks like they made some adjustments defensively. The Diggers are going to have to counter that.
You bet, and I'm sure that they have. But, Rush is just coming out. They got caught there once, and now they're trying to fight back from behind, and it's pretty tough to do when the other team's got the momentum. And I'm starting to see Burlington, they're doing a lot of cheering and shouting. They're pretty excited right now, and Brush is going to have to gain that big mo back. 3rd and 14 for the 19. Ginther on the handoff up the middle. That'll be a decent gain by Nate Hefner of about 4 yards to the 23, but he's hit by the middle of that defensive line. They'll give him 5 to the 24. It'll be 4th down, and the Beat Diggers will have to punt the football away. Yeah, hopefully they punt it away here and they get a good punt. I know Cardenas can really put a leg behind it, and this is the time when they really need it.
Boy, undoubtedly, they cannot give him good field position. There's the snap. Here comes the rush. Not much. End-over-end punt. It'll drop at the 42-yard line. Fumbled at the 37. Picked up, slipping a tackle. Now to the 40 is Martins, to the outside of the 45. Sideline to the 50. Flag is down as he reaches the 40. Out of bounds at around the 39-yard line. Pretty good return over there of 24 yards, but that one looks like it's going to go against the Cougars.
Well, hopefully it does, because Brush had the guy tackled back here on about the 35-yard line. O'Kelly flew down there, but he didn't break down. He left his feet and tried to tackle him with an arm tackle, and if you can't hold on there, then the guy's going to take off running. He did, and he picked up another 30 yards after we missed that tackle. So, fortunately, this play is going to come back, but unfortunately, Burlington was able to show right there that the Diggers better be ready, and that's a momentum thing. The penalties in Brush favor, but for Burlington to pick up big yards after a missed tackle is a mental advantage, I think, for Burlington.
No doubt about it. Block in the back by Burlington, so that football is going to be set back at around the 30. Let's see, they're going to walk it off to the 32 in quarter number 3. If Brush does not stop them here, we might be seeing the last game of the 2002 season for the Beat Diggers, even though it's still in the 3rd. 1st and 10. Medley, the quarterback, is going to hand it off in the middle, and that's 2 yards for Barrett Hendricks to the 34. And they're going to say he was down after the ball was fumbled. And making the play was Neil Samples. 2nd down and 8.
I'll tell you what, O'Neal, he's a real good tackler at that strong safety position for Brush. Whenever they run to his side, if they don't run it up the middle and they're going towards Neal, they better be ready to get tackled, or else they better have somebody there to block it.
Now I guess the Beat Diggers have to watch that secondary back off the fake, because that got him last drive, Dave.
You betcha, that's right. And so Brush has got to make sure that they got a key there, and hopefully that's what Neal's job is out there.
From the 34-yard line for Burlington on their own side of the field, 2nd down and 8 with a back split. Medley is going to hand it off right side to Martins, gets the right sideline to the 40, 1st down to the 50, gets a block as he cuts back towards the middle, and he's down at the 42-yard line. He was tackled by Tyler Barancini, and a nice gain over there for Cody Martins and a 1st down.
Yeah, it looked like he picked up about 22 yards on that carry, and you can see on that play they got Brush to line up defensively so that their strong safety, Neil Samples, was on this side, and on that play they ran away from him.
Exactly 22 yards for Cody Martins, and he's had a tremendous game. He hasn't carried the ball much, but every time he does, he's got the speed to the outside, and he's got the speed up the middle. 1st and 10 for Burlington at the Brush 44-yard line. Medley on the counter to Hendricks, right side. Big haul across the 35 to the 30, right sideline to the 20. Man to beat at the 50, gets a block at the 10. Barancini tried to tackle him, and it's a touchdown as he's spun inside the goal line. A run of 44 yards for Barrett Hendricks, and the Cougars have blown this thing wide open now. They lead 20-6.
Real great run by Hendricks right there. The sad thing is they faked the pitch to the outside again, then they handed it back to him right up the middle to get the Diggers to bite on the outside running game. But Brush had the guy tackled right there, right after the line of scrimmage. But unfortunately, it was just an arm tackle, and the Diggers left their feet, and he was able to break the tackle and run for the score.
And that extra point, the flag is down. It is good, but let's see if I don't think it's going to count right now. And Burlington can explode. They scored in 26 seconds. Now they've scored in 65 seconds, and they're trying to take the Diggers out of this game. And this is going to be against Burlington. Illegal procedure, so this will turn into about a 25-yard extra point. But Cameron Gately has something that very few kickers at this level have, especially in 2A, and that is a strong leg. 25 yards, he booms that baby, and that one is going to be off to the left, though. The Diggers stay within 14 points, 20-6 Burlington. We're back in 30 seconds. This is KSIR. Gately to kick it off, fielded by Tedford on the line drive at the 30-yard line towards the outside at the 35, and he burst his way towards the 40-yard line, tackled just shy of the 40-yard line by Burlington's special teamer Seth Scholes, the 5'11", 176-pound sophomore. We'll call it a return of 9, and once again, the Diggers are down by 14, but do have good field position to start this drive.
You bet, and like we just talked about, it's real important the Diggers just get a sustained drive here. They don't panic, put a touchdown on the board. They're within 7, still in this football game.
First and 10, Brush from their own 39. Neal Samples in motion to the left. Backs are split. The pitch left to O'Kelly. Gets a block from Deal to the outside. He's at the 40. Now to around the 42, maybe the 43-yard line. That's a decent pickup for O'Kelly of 4 yards, making it second and down and 6.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, a real nice run by Bobby O'Kelly there, but the Cougars showed what outstanding team speed that they have, because the Diggers started with the ball clear over here on this hash mark on the west side of the field, and O'Kelly ran clear over to the other side, and usually this year he's able to turn it upfield and pick up about 15 yards on the carry, and that time he only got 5.
Incidentally, that Burlington drive, 3 plays, 68 yards and 65 seconds. Barrett Hendricks from 44 yards away with a run for the touchdown. Second and 6, in motion to the right is Samples. Ginther back to pass, pressure up the middle, throws to the left sideline, man open, incomplete. At the 37, Bobby O'Kelly had the defender Justin Sandoval beat by about 2 yards, and it was well overthrown.
I'll tell you what, if Joe is able to get a little bit of air under that ball and have some touch on it, that thing falls right into O'Kelly's arms, and O'Kelly, he was already running away from those guys. That was going to be a touchdown.
Boy, but just a few inches, and in that case, a few feet can make all the difference in the world. Third down and 6 for Brush at their own 43-yard line. We've got 7:41 to go in the third quarter. Burlington with 20 unanswered points. Samples in motion to the left. Handoff right side. Hefner, you can forget about it. Hit the line of scrimmage. Nick Reinhardt with a penetration, and 2 other Cougars cleaned it right up, and it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Reinhardt just blew Dave Cummings, a right tackle, into the backfield and just totally disrupted that whole play. And again, we're talking about, size. A real big, strong kid, 270 pounds, working against somebody that only weighs 185 pounds at best.
So here we go. It'll be Cardenas to punt it for the Beat Diggers. Cody Martins, who's been a great special teamer today, as well as guy who scored 2 touchdowns, waiting for the punt. And that's going to flutter out there towards the 23. He fields it. Martins breaks the tackle to 25, a second tackle, but he's brought down by Kyle Temple at the 29-yard line. It's a return of 6, and the punt goes for 34 yards.
What a great punt by Cardenas. That thing had a real nice spiral. He was pointing straight south all the way down the field and turned over at the right time. A real nice kicking game that Cardenas has.
But now the Beat Digger defense, which really has struggled in this third quarter, has no option but to come up with the goods right now. They need a turnover. Forget about stopping this team. They've got to do better. First and 10, Burlington from their own 30, moving right to left with a back split. The quarterback, Josiah Medley, is going to hand it off. Oh, no, keep it on the option. Pitch right to Martin. He's got running room to the 40. Down the middle of the field towards the right sideline for 50. He's got a man to beat at the 40. In pursuit at the 30. Cuts inside to the 20. He's tackled at around the 4-yard line. Another massive run, 66 yards for the running back for Burlington, Cody Martins. That'll take us to an update back at the studio with Kevin Schaefer.
All right, quickly in 2A, guys. Holy Family now leading Monte Vista 12-0 in the third. They're tied at 7 between Eaton and Denver Christian. Late second. Back out to you.
68 yards for Cody Martins as they took it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be first and goal. With a back split, Burlington really looking to add to this lead now. Medley under center. Will hand it off left side, and this will be a touchdown, I believe, for Barrett Hendricks. And it is 2 yards away. And Burlington leads by 20, 26-6, with 6:22 to go in the third.
Wow, what a big play for Burlington. Some great ball handling there by their quarterback and their running backs back there. Nobody really knew who had the ball. And I'll tell you what, he's not a real big quarterback out there on the field. Medley, in the program here, it says he's 170 pounds, but when he's standing next to his center and his 2 guards and his 2 tackles, he looks like a real little bitty guy out there. But he had the ball and scooted right around the corner for a huge 66-yard play.
Now they're going to go for 2 since they missed the extra point the last time. Medley is going to hand it off to the second back, Hendricks. He's going to fall short, hit at the 3-yard line as the tackle was made for Brush by James Ginther. 26-6, 6:22 to go in the third. Burlington in the lead, back in 30 on KSIR. Burlington has scored 19 points in the third quarter, and we're not even halfway through. A 2-yard run by Barrett Hendricks following the 68-yard run by Cody Martins. We thought that Brush dominated in the first half, but that's why the name of this game, Dave, is about points.
That's right. It's about points and mistakes, and I'll tell you what, Brush just did a great job in the first half, and then the second half we started making a few mistakes.
And that's all it takes. And now Cameron Gately to kick it off. It's a line drive kick. It's going to be fielded at the 22. Fumble by Perez. Picks it up at the 23. Running left to around the 27. Slips tackles. He gets by the 30. Down at the 34-yard line. Now I wonder if that's a face mask or if somebody was holding for Brush as a flag goes down back at the 26.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he threw that flag right back there. It was about 5 yards behind where Thomas Perez ended up landing after he made the run. So I think it was a face mask on an initial call there, or on an initial tackle attempt by Burlington, and a few extra yards.
Also, the Beat Diggers will have the football now at their own 39-yard line. And you hate to say that Brush has got to alter its offensive game plan, but boy, down 20. They still have 18 minutes and 15 seconds of football. To score here is a must. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Receivers split left and right. The Beat Diggers have 61 yards to go to get into that end zone. The lone setback is Greg Geno. Ginther is going to hand it off to Geno. He has hit at the line of scrimmage, gets to the 40. Incredible penetration, that Burlington defensive line, and there is no answer to stop some of these guys. That time it wasn't Reinhardt, but it was Logan Feldhausen of his position on the defensive line to make the play for the gain of 1.
Yeah, 217-pound senior, but, you know, they got a big front, and they're dominating the line of scrimmage now on Brush. That's something that the Brush Digger line of scrimmage guys on offense as well as defense haven't been used to this year.
Second down and 9 for the 40. Ginther back to pass, plenty of protection. Heaves it down the left sideline, man out there, incomplete. O'Kelly wide open again at the 31-yard line. Boy, this has got to be discouraging.
I'll tell you what, and he has been wide open again with his speed. He's just running right past the corner and the safety that's on that side for Burlington, and the coaches have alertly seen that they can beat him over there, and it's just a matter of Ginther getting the ball to him.
Now, one thing we haven't seen, and maybe this is part of what's the problem with the J.R. Finley injury, is that slant over the middle. Very successful last week, even though it was used on a limited basis. I don't think the Diggers have thrown a slant all day, so let's see what happens. Third and 9 at the 40. Ginther rolling to his right, looking for a block. Gets one from Geno, throws on the run. The pass isn't complete. Off of O'Kelly's hands at the 39. Perhaps thrown just a tad behind him, but certainly a catchable ball. It'll be fourth down.
You bet. I'll tell you what, O'Kelly gave Ginther a little bit back there, I think, because Joe missed him a couple times when he was wide open. That time, Ginther put the ball right in O'Kelly's hands, and he didn't catch it.
Well, now let's see what head coach Randy Drice decides to do. I mean, you would think they would punt here, but they're down by 20. And we'll have an update coming up in just a second as soon as we see what the Diggers do here on fourth down. Well, they gambled last week, Dave. He got none to lose here because they haven't been able to play defense in the third quarter. They're going to go for it on fourth down and a little bit less than 10 to go for the 40. And now we have a flag down. We'll see what that's all about. We'll tell you about the flag right after we get this update from Kevin Schaefer.
All right, thanks, John. Let's get you caught up on some volleyball here. Otis and Flagler championship in Class 1A. Otis won the first game 15-10. Flagler the second 15-12. They're playing the third game, six-man semifinals. Idalia leads Woodland 23-18 at half. Also at half, Kit Carson pulling away from Pete's 30-14. Back out to you.
Thank you, Kevin. Here it was a great game at halftime, 7-6, but Burlington has scored 19 points in the third. And I don't even know if that was a flag, Dave, or that was a timeout out there because they're all huddled, and I don't see the ball moving one direction or the other.
Right, I'll tell you what, I thought that there was going to be a flag there, like a delay of game or something, because that's the way it looked to me, the way the officials were reacting. But I think Burlington called the timeout to make sure that they were set, because Martin was clear back here on about the Diggers, or about their own 15-yard line, expecting the punt, and they weren't in position to make a defensive play. So Burlington coaches were really alert, and they were able to get a timeout in there before Ginther snapped the ball.
The Beat Diggers have to get to just beyond their own 49. Fourth down and close to 10 yards to go. Ginther back to pass. pass, sets up in the pocket. He lofts it out, man wide open. O'Kelly has it at the 43, down the sideline to the 30, past the man at the 20, down at the 18-yard line. The Beat Diggers come through with a huge 43-yard play as they mark it down to the 17-yard line, and finally Ginther hits O'Kelly.
I'll tell you what, finally they were able to connect, and Ginther just put it right on the money. O'Kelly was in just a full run there. He ran kind of a right alley where all the receivers over here on the right side of the Diggers, they all ran to the post, and then O'Kelly comes out of the backfield and just runs right down the sideline, and the cornerback bid on all that, and he went to the post and left O'Kelly wide open.
1st and 10, in motion to the right is Samples. The pitch left to O'Kelly, looking for a block from Deal. Gets one as he gets to the 10-yard line. Left sideline 5. He dives. It's going to be touchdown. Touchdown for Bobby O'Kelly from 17 yards away. The Diggers try to reclaim some momentum. Draw to within 14. It's 26-12 Burlington.
I'll tell you what, you got to credit these Diggers. They're not giving up. You know, they're still in this football game. There's still 5 minutes left in the third quarter, and that's a lot of time to put points on the board. So that's a big play, and it's neat to see a bunch of the Diggers digging down deep inside and not giving up here in the second half.
And if you're Brush, I guess every time you score, you're going to go for 2 here because you have better prospects, I think, going for 2 than you do the extra point.
Right. With Shiloh, usually he was a touchdown or the game-winning kicker a couple weeks ago, and so
Ginther wide open, caught by Temple, throwing it to his left with a 2-point conversion. The Diggers have scored here in the third quarter, 26-14 Burlington in the lead, 5:01 to go, back in half a minute on KSIR. Well, the Diggers, if they're going to get back into this game, have to score quickly. They do in a minute, 14 seconds, 61 yards, 17-yard run by Bobby O'Kelly. The key play, a 43-yard pass from Ginther to O'Kelly on the preceding play on a 4th down. Ginther to Kyle Temple on the 2-point conversion. It's still a ball game, 26-14. Plenty of time to go, over 17 minutes of football remaining. But after this play, I'm going to ask Dave a question here that so far the Beat Digger defense has not been able to answer, which is how do you stop the Burlington offense? It's squibbed into the ground. It travels over a Cougar. The ball is loose and pounced on at the 23-yard line by Cody Martin. So the Beat Diggers get a nice break there. They play defense, but that's the one thing. What do they have to do defensively, Dave? I mean, do they have to make some sort of an adjustment here? Because the linebackers clearly sometimes are getting bit on certain fakes here, and Burlington's just executing.
I'll tell you what, Burlington's got some great fakes going on, but I don't think they do have to do a lot different, other than the fact they just need to do their job. And right down there, you're looking at a bunch of boys from Brush that are trying hard, and sometimes you're trying too hard. And so it boils down to just doing your job, I think. And if they can do that, they're going to hold them like they did in the first half.
From the 23-yard line, Medley on his own side of the field will hand it off right side. Henry got hit at the line of scrimmage, breaks away down the sideline to the 40, in the secondary at the 50, gets a block as he tumbles over his own man at the Beat Digger 42-yard line, but once again, it's a positive gainer, 35 yards for Barrett Hendricks and a Burlington first down.
I'll tell you what, that might be the adjustments that I didn't mention a minute ago. Brush has got to make the tackle. On all the big plays that Burlington's been able to execute today, the Diggers have had the guys stopped and tackled on the line of scrimmage, but we're just leaving our feet, not holding on, and the powerful running of Burlington Cougars is going for big yards.
1st and 10 Burlington from the Brush 42 as the Diggers crowd starts to get into it. They know they need a stop. Hand off right side to the second man, Reed. He is stood up by Josh Steele at the 40-yard line. He did get 3 yards, but at least it's better than what has been happening earlier in this quarter.
You bet. So far this whole second half, the Diggers have been making a lot of really good initial contact, but not a lot of good job of finishing the tackle. So that play right there was the first time I've seen the Diggers stand the Cougars up and make the tackle since early in the second quarter.
2nd down and 7 for Burlington at the Brush 40. The Beat Diggers trail by 12 at 26-14. Late in the third quarter, Medley, the quarterback, will hand it off in the middle. Reese is stuck after a yard. The Diggers probably with their best defensive play of the quarter. 3rd down and 6.
You bet. What a great play there by Matt Manier, just holding his ground right there in the middle. He stayed low, and he was able to trip him up before he was able to get any momentum up to break any tackles.
And you know that Burlington, if they don't get the first down here, Dave, they're going to go for it. So this is not just third down. This is going to be a couple of third downs here for Brush. Third down and 7 to go from the 40. This will be an option left by Medley, keeping the football as a seam to the outside, gets to the 35, and he's down. Oh, a great open field tackle by Tyler Ferrancini. It'll be 4th down and 2 to go. But if Ferrancini doesn't make the play, it's safe to say that Martin does the first down.
And I'll tell you what, on an option, Ferrancini is the guy that has to make that play because they ran that option over here to this side, to the weak side, and Tedford just flew up from his defensive end position. His job is the pitch man. I think all the Brush people thought he was crazy because he just ran right past the quarterback back to the pitch man, and all of a sudden here came Ferrancini flying up there to make the tackle on the quarterback. So both those guys just did a great job defending that option play.
4th down and a long 3. The football just shy of the Brush 35. 2:38 to go in the third. Medley for Burlington takes the snap from center. Will hand it off in the middle to Hendricks. He stood up. He does not have the first down. He got maybe a yard and a half. Josh Steele, Drew Tedford, and many other Beat Diggers, including Adam Hinojo, make the play. 1 yard for Hendricks, and the Beat Diggers have the football.
Right. What a great defensive stand there by the Diggers. You knew that they were going to go ahead and give the ball to him just because he's got so much power, and it was 4th and short, and he's been running hard right up the middle this whole half. But the Diggers just dug in, made the big tackle, and now it's real important we establish the offensive drive and put some points on the board.
Well, there's 2.5 to go in the third. Time not a factor yet. The Diggers down by 12, and they've got 66 yards to go to draw even closer. The backfield split. Back to passes Ginter. Pressure from the right side. He lost it out. O'Kelly wide open. He has it at the and he stumbles at the 46. If he stays on his feet, he might go the distance. Nonetheless, it's a gain of 20 for the Diggers and a first down. And Dave, how is O'Kelly getting so open?
I'll tell you what, the Burlington Cougar cornerbacks are just a little bit asleep right now, and what's happened is the Diggers are having a little some bootleg action fakes that are going on the line of scrimmage, and then they're sending their receiver on that side on a post route. Their corner's going with them, and that's just leaving O'Kelly wide open on some alley routes down the sideline.
1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at the 46-yard line of Burlington. Ginther is going to hand it off to Hefner in the middle. Big hole to the left side, back towards the middle at the 31-yard line. It's a gain of 15 for Nate Hefner. Running extremely hard as Bobby Krause made the play from his defensive back position, but another Digger first down.
I'll tell you what, I'm still laughing about that pass pattern a couple plays ago to O'Kelly. He was so open. And Gitzer got the ball out there, and it was just barely out in front of O'Kelly, and O'Kelly kind of stumbled a little bit. If he keeps his feet, the Diggers were on a conversion on that last play.
Well, but they followed it up with another good play. At least they didn't let that stumble carry over to the next play. 1st and 10 Brush from the 31 of Burlington on the left hash mark. Geno, the lone setback. Rolling to his right is Ginther, looking for a block. Going to have to get rid of it. He does. It is caught by O'Kelly at the 16 behind him. No, they're going to say he dropped it. Apparently the ball hit the ground as Zeb Walkinshaw was on the coverage. 2nd down and 10.
It is so funny how the Diggers have gone to the passing game in the last couple weeks. That's something that we're not used to seeing. O'Kelly rolled out really hard here to the right side, and he threw it over there, and it's hard to throw when you're on the run, and just kind of got a little bit low and behind O'Kelly, and I thought O'Kelly had it, but the back judge over there could see that the ball hit the ground, and so that makes it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, in the first half they were able to run at will, and obviously Burlington has really learned that they don't want that to happen now. 2nd down and 10, Brush for the Burlington 31. Ginter back to throw, plenty of protection. Fakes, throws down the right sideline. O'Kelly is out there. Oh, knocked away at the 10-yard line. What a play by Barrett Hendricks. And now we're talking about a Brush TD.
I'll tell you what he did. He just barely got his right hand up there and stopped that ball. You have to give Hendricks a lot of credit because he was looking O'Kelly right in the eye, and then as soon as the ball got pretty close and O'Kelly looked back for the ball, then Hendricks looked back and barely got a hand on it and stopped that play.
I hate to say it was underthrown because it was still a very good throw, but of course just a little bit more. And I don't think he touches that football at all.
No, not at all. And the quarterbacks are taught to throw that thing over the outside shoulder of the receivers where it can't be intercepted. And that's a lot easier said than done, especially with the wind conditions that Joe's facing today.
3rd and 10. This will be a handoff to the right side. Nothing for Geno. They try to throw him off balance. Nick Reinhardt makes the tackle. It'll be 4th down. They might have got to the 30. It'll be marked to the 30, 4th and 9 after the 1-yard gain by Geno. And with 1:10 to go in the third quarter, the Diggers are obviously going to go for it.
You bet. It's 4th and 9. It's going to be interesting to see what Coach Strides pulls out of his bag of tricks here on this play.
I I'd like to see maybe a hard count because you've got to get this Burlington defense off balance a little bit. Let's see what happens. The receiver to the right is Bobby Gutierrez. 2 men in the backfield. 4th and 9 from the 30. Ginther back to pass. Got the protection. Breaking down. Throws it out to the right. Complete the sample. Puts the tackle to 25. Stays on his feet. He's got a first down at the 20 to the 18. It's a pickup of 12 yards. That was all Neil Samples. He had to make 2 incredible moves to avoid being tackled shy of the first down marker.
And it took a lot for Neil Samples to make that play, and it makes you almost emotional to see seniors out there playing what could be their last football game and just giving it everything they have, just fighting tooth and nail to make sure that they get the first down. And you're right, Neil just did a great job after a real nice pass from Joe Ginther. First seniors that deserve to score a touchdown on this series.
No doubt about it. From the 18 of Burlington, the pitch left to O'Kelly. Gets a block from Deal. He skips over a man at the 15, down the sideline 10, goes to the inside 5. Touchdown, Bobby O'Kelly! Touchdown, Bobby O'Kelly! 18 yards away. O'Kelly has scored for the second time in the game. It's a ball game once again, folks, from Beat Digger Stadium. Burlington 26, Rush 20. Holy mahungus!
I'll tell you what, the whole crowd is out here. They're on their feet, and they're all excited and everything. And then on the north side of the stands over here, it's just packed with Burlington Cougar fans, but they're all sitting there pretty quiet now. I think the momentum's starting to shift.
Now they're going to go for the extra point. Joe Ginther to attempt it, and he can't get it off, and now the man with the football, Chris Martinez, rolling left. He's going to be hit back at the 14-yard line. I guess it was not set properly because as Ginther went to kick it, he hesitated, and the extra point is no good. 20 seconds to go in the third. Burlington 26, Brush 20. We're back in 30 seconds on KSIR. Play 76 yards in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Bobby O'Kelly from 18 yards away, his second score of the game. The Diggers draw to within 6, 26-20 with 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. And folks, who knows who's going to win this game now? It could go down to the wire. Just a few minutes ago, we thought this would be a Cougar blowout, but the Diggers right back into it. Cardenas to kick it off. He squibs it into the ground. It bounces, fielded at the 33. The Diggers make the tackle at around the 38-yard line as 3 Diggers were down there, including special teamer Anthony Hurt, who recovered a fumble last week. So Burlington probably will run one more play before the end of this quarter as they start officially from their own 37-yard line.
Tell you what, it's so important that Brush does not do something that they've done a lot of this year, and that's right after a big score and right after a big momentum changer, just allowing the other team to get right back in the game. The Diggers need a big defensive stand here.
1st and 10, Burlington from their own 37, now leading by only 6 points. Josiah Medley will hand it off up the middle. Barrett Hendricks stumbled to the 41-yard line, a gain of 4. That is the final play of quarter number 3. After 3, Burlington 26, Brush 20. We're back in 1 minute on AM 1010 KSIR. 12 minutes remaining in either Burlington or Brush's season as we begin the fourth quarter. The Diggers were trailing by 20 with 6:22 to go, but have scored 2 unanswered touchdowns. They've scored 14 unanswered points, trailed 26-20. Burlington has the football, 2nd down and 6 from their own 41-yard line with a back split. Colt Reese is in there, along with Barrett Hendricks, 2 receivers to the left. The quarterback, Josiah Medley, looking over the defense, will hand it off in the middle to Reese, and he gains only 2 to the 43. Matt Manier grabbed him around the ankles. 3rd down, big down for the Diggers.
You bet. I'll tell you what, too, did a real nice job there. I happen to be focusing in on Jared Marwitz there on the interior line. You talk about a guy that's playing with a small body weight up against some really big guys, and he's holding his own ground in there, and he's giving them all they can handle because he was the reason that play was stopped up. He plugged up the hole, and that forced that little crossbuck to break a little bit further outside wide, and Manier was right there to help make the tackle.
3rd down and 5, Burlington for their own 43-yard line. Medley is going to hand it off to Hendricks, taking it to the left side, and he's down at the 45. He does not get the first down. Barangini was in on the play, as well as another Digger getting up for the bottom of the pile. That looked like David Cummings. A gain of 2, 4th down and 3. They could get their chance here.
I'll tell you what, Burlington's going to punt this thing. They got a huge wind at their back, and, the Diggers took the wind so that they could get a good kickoff there to start the third quarter. Now we're going to see what happens when the Diggers got to go against
they've also got to watch out for a fake here, knowing that there's some gaps there in the middle. They do snap it to the center, gets it off in a terrible punt. Off to the right and short. It will land to the 35 of Brush, take a Burlington bounce to the 31-yard line. They got a little bit of a break. Not as bad as we thought, but it was only 24 yards. And now the Diggers, believe it or not, Dave, I know we're saying this and I can't believe it, they can take the lead.
I'll tell you what, I'm so excited for these guys. They have so much heart, and we've talked before about how they just find ways to win, and I'm just really hoping that the Diggers can find a way to win this thing, and they're going to have to do it on the ground, though, I think, because that wind's blowing hard, and it's blowing from the northwest to the southeast, and the Diggers are going to have to establish a running game here.
First and 10 Brush from their own 31-yard line. Gimser with 3 men in the backfield is going to pitch it right. O'Kelly fumbled the football, and it looks like Burlington has got it. Burlington has got it at the 28-yard line, recovered by A.J. Ward. The second turnover by Brush, that could be a killer. And as they change units on the field, back to the studio, Kevin Schaefer with a game update.
Okay, quickly, guys, in the 2A playoffs, Denver Christian now leads Eaton 14-7. Holy Family on top of Monte Vista 12-0. And Otis is your 1A state volleyball champs. They beat Flagler in 3 games, 15-10, 12-15, 15-6. Back out to you.
Here the Beat Diggers now have to play another great defensive game, at least here. First and 10 for Burlington at the 28 following the O'Kelly fumble on the pitch. Medley, play action, rolling to his left, throwing off his back foot, man out there. It's going to be incomplete. That should be offensive interference. It looked like the receiver pushed off on Mitch Muniz, but no call against Cade Hinkhouse down the left sideline, and the Cougars get a break.
I'll tell you what, it's really hard to understand how two officials, when there's only 2 players out there, a defensive man and a wide receiver, an offensive wide receiver, and neither one of those officials saw that push-off because it was really obvious. I think everybody over here saw that, but fortunately, if anything, the Burlington Cougars didn't catch that ball.
Second down and 10 for Burlington at the Brush 28-yard line. Plenty of time to go in the game. 10-29. The backs are split. Martins and Hendricks. The receivers are split to the right. Medley is going to keep the football in the option left. He'll pitch it to Martins, looking for running room to the outside. He's down at the line of scrimmage. Getting over there quickly and making the play for Brush, and that was Mitch Muniz. And then Ferrancini made sure that he would stay down, and they won't give him anything. Boy, great penetration.
I'll tell you what a great job by Mitch Muniz on that play. You know, they faked the handoff here to the right side, and then they went option over there to the left side, and it looked like it was going to be wide open, but Muniz just flew up from his cornerback position and stuffed that play up and held him for no gain.
Third down and 10 for the 28. The Diggers have to come up with 2 more huge plays on defense. With a back split, the receivers to the right. Medley rolling to his right. Here comes the pressure. He throws at the 37. It looks like a linebacker blitz. That was Jared Morowitz who makes the play, and he throws him for a loss of 9, Mr. Uhrig.
I'll tell you what, John, that right there is a good example where size is really important in football, but speed kills, and I think that right there was an example of how a small, agile guy like Jared Morowitz just ran right past the blocking of the huge offensive line of the Burlington Cougars.
Now the Cougars will have to punt on 4th and 19. Perfect snap. Here comes the pressure. O'Kelly nearly blocked it. And he actually tipped it. The referee says he tipped it. But a great bounce for Burlington inside the 5 down to the 1. Oh, what a break for the Cougars. A perfect punt, and it was actually tipped by O'Kelly, according to the referee. And Gately gets that all the way down to the 1-yard line as it was down by the Cougars. A punt of 36 yards, and that's the biggest play of the game on special teams.
Maybe right now all the Brush fans are wishing O'Kelly wasn't able to tip that ball because it probably would have sailed into the end zone had he not tipped it. But, you know, that's not something that you can predict before the play happens.
Well, you got to watch out here that you don't get called for a safety. The Diggers are going to have to block mightily here. Handoff up the middle, and was that Hebner for maybe a yard, as they want to go to the power game right now. And it was Hebner, and they'll give him the 2, maybe even the 3, but we'll call it 2nd down and 9. And you know what, Dave? If they can move the ball steadily down the field, this could be a blessing in disguise, but they've got to obviously get out of this hole.
Right, I think the blessing in disguise you're talking about is just the fact that it's going to take a lot of time off the clock for the Diggers to get that far down the field.
Exactly. 2nd down and 9. Hebner checks out of the game. I would not be surprised if they pass the ball, believe it or not. Baxter split from the 2. Ginther's going to keep the football. He's sacked. It's a safety. Sacked by Colt Reams in the end zone, and Burlington has added 2 more. It's 28-20 with 8:16 to go in the game.
Yeah, what a bad break there for Brush. But I'll tell you what, the way I look at this is the Diggers have an opportunity here to get a good kickoff. Of course, they're going to have to kick it off back from their 30 rather than the 40 where they normally would. But they are actually is at the 20.
The 20, yep.
And hopefully the Diggers are able to get a good kickoff and play some defense. I was really worried about a turnover down there. You have a turnover or they block a punt or something like that, you end up giving them a touchdown and the game's over with. They only give them a safety and they're still in this thing.
Well, again, that Digger defense has made play after play after play. In the first, second, and fourth quarters, it's the third quarter that was the killer. And there's still plenty of time. They have 3 timeouts, 8 minutes and 16 seconds. Keep in mind, to tie the game, they'll have to score a touchdown and convert on the 2-pointer.
Right, and I'll tell you what, John, we can't forget, the turnover factor. You hate to, point fingers or place the blame or anything like that, but, we had a turnover there that gave them a touchdown, and now we just had a turnover that ultimately gave them a safety because of the field position battle that we were losing, that we were winning there for a minute. So turnovers are the name of the game.
Let's see if Cardenas can keep this football somewhere in the middle of the field. And he gets that ball off. It's a high, short punt towards the Burlington sideline, and this is not good. That thing went out of bounds at around the 43-yard line, and Burlington is going to have incredible field position.
That official on the sideline is still walking forward. He walked all the way to about the Brush 38, 39-yard line before he stopped over there and settled on where he thought the ball went out of bounds. So not a good kick for Brush at all.
Well, Burlington had the football at the 28-yard line of Brush, and they went 9 yards backwards. Now the Diggers are going to have to hope for the same fate. 8:16 to go. Burlington leading 28-20 from the Brush 39-yard line. First down. Medley is going to hand it off to Hendricks. He's got maybe a yard to the 38-yard line. Great penetration by Jared Marwitz. It'll be second down and 9 to go.
The clock's going to turn into Brush's worst enemy here if Burlington's able to get first downs. Because, Burlington, they're going to be content to go 3 downs and punt because they're playing a field position game here.
No question about that. Second down and 9. They'll call it the Brush 37. Baxter split again. Medley this time is going to hand it off to the second man. Martins with a big hole up the middle. Skips over a man inside the 30 to the 29. Tyler Ferrancini with a tackle. He might be half a yard short of the first down. It's still a pickup of 8. It'll be third down and 1.
I'll tell you what, Martins really accelerates through the hole, and, he's another pretty big player for Burlington. I think they got him down here for, how big is he? He's down for...
Well, Martins, I have at 5'10", 168.
He's pretty big. 5'10's a pretty big kid out there.
Third and 1. Burlington from the Brush 29. Handoff, first down. Hendricks hold to the right side of the 20. By himself at the 10. 5 right sideline. Touchdown. Burlington. Barrett Hendricks 29 yards away. Burlington leading by double digits again at 34-20.
Yep, and again, Brush has Hendricks stopped on the line of scrimmage. It looks like they've got him wrapped up, and they're about ready to make a tackle. And instead, we don't hold on, and he's able to break the tackle and just scoop for the touchdown. And big plays for Burlington are what's turning this game around.
Cameron Gately to attempt the extra point. The snap is down. The kick is up. He doesn't boom it very deep, but he booms it in between the uprights. 7:02 to go, fourth quarter. It is Burlington 35, Brush 20 on AM 1010 KSIR. Well, the Beat Diggers have been down this path before, trailing by as many as 20 in this game. They drew to within 6, down by 15 at 35-20. 3 plays, 39-yard drive for Burlington in a minute and 14 seconds. It was Barrett Hendricks with a 29-yard gallop. And now the Beat Diggers getting ready to receive the kickoff. It's a short kick, fielded by one of the up men at the 25-yard line, straight ahead to the 30, left sideline 40, across the 40 to the 44. And for Brush, that was J.J. Persley. It's a return of 19, and you can't ask for much better field position than this, Dave. They could score in the next 2 or 3 minutes, have all their timeouts, still have plenty of time, play defense, and get back into this game. We do know that if they score, they're probably going to go for 2 because the extra point has been a disaster so far.
Exactly, but the big thing is Brush has got to get on the Burlington side of the 50-yard line, and that's something that just hasn't happened here in the fourth quarter, and I can't help but think that the wind is a factor in that.
Get their play action. Here comes the pressure. He's going to have to get rid of the football. He's sacked back at the 41. Boy, that pocket collapsed quickly. Nick Reinhardt was around the football, as well as a couple of other Cougars, and Ginther really had no shot to get rid of that thing.
No, at the end of that play, the people that were laying on the ground were Ginther and 5 Cougars who tackled him. The only people that were standing up were 5 Brush offensive linemen.
6.5 to go in the game. The Diggers, if they don't score on this drive, can kiss their season goodbye. It would still be an incredible season for Brush, considering they won 5 games in 2 years and have won 8 this season. But they want to make this a little bit more competitive. 2nd down and 13 from their own 41. Ginther on the play action, back to pass, rolling right, setting up, stopping, trying to avoid a sack. He's going to have to throw. He heaves it down the sideline. That could be picked off, and I believe it is, picked off at the 28. It was intended out there for a beat digger, and it is picked off. No doubt.
Temple was fighting for the ball there. He went up for the ball, too, and they both came down, but unfortunately the Burlington Cougar came down with a little bit more possession than Temple had, and Temple didn't look like he was able to roll his shoulder in there and make it look like he had more of the ball than the Burlington guy did.
Yeah, it was picked off by Zepp Welkinshaw as it was floated out there. And now the Beat Diggers are going to have to force a turnover. Well, what happened last week, Dave? The Beat Diggers forced 4 turnovers, didn't make one. This week they've committed 3 and haven't forced any. And that's one of the fundamental differences. 1st and 10 for Burlington from their own 28-yard line. With a back split, Josiah Medley is going to hand it off in the middle to Martins. He's down at the 30-yard line, a gain of 2. Matt Manier with the initial penetration. Jared Marwitz, Josh Deal around the football. And another Beat Digger gets up for the bottom of the pile, assisting on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8 with the ball at the 30.
That was Adam Hinojos that got up a little bit slow there for the Diggers, and I don't know if he just took that hit right in the middle of his chest or what, kind of knocked the wind out of him, but he's back up there on the line of scrimmage and looks like he's ready to go.
The ball at the 30-yard line, 2nd down and 8 for Burlington. They lead by 15. We're down to 5:27 to go in the game. With a back split, the receivers to the right. The handoff to Martins in the middle. He squeezes across the 30 to the 33. Tyler Ferrancini is around the football to make the play. A couple of other Diggers also assisted on that one, including Hinojos once again. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Yep, I'll tell you what, 3rd down and 5 is something Burlington's got to love, because like I said before, they've got the wind at their back here, it looks like, and even though the wind's kind of changing directions, maybe starting to blow across the field a little bit, still, if they punt the ball, the wind's going to be in their favor, and they're not going to care if they go 3 and punt, because this game's going to be in their favor with the wind on their side, with the clock on their side.
3rd down and 5, Burlington from their own 33. The receiver split to the right. This will be a handoff on the right side to Hendricks. Hit at the line of scrimmage by Josh Deal. Continues to drive. However, other Diggers, including Neil Samples, come in to hold Hendricks to a gain of 1. It'll be 4th down. Let's see if the Diggers decide to use a timeout as Bobby O'Kelly gets into that game on special teams. We are down to 4:20 to go.
Thomas Perez back to return this punt. That's not something we're used to seeing. Usually Bobby O'Kelly's our man back.
Well, I think they want O'Kelly to try and block this thing. Back deep to punt is Cody Mangas. He fumbles the football. O'Kelly tries to tackle him. He's down. The ball is still loose at the 15-yard line. And the Beat Diggers will have great field position as the ball was mishandled by Mangas. They will have it at around the 10. Oh, a huge break for the Diggers, and that's the first big break they've gotten in this game.
Oh, I'll tell you what, the first turnover they've been able to get in this game, and I'll tell you what, I think that the Burlington Cougar punter saw Bobby O'Kelly coming out of the corner of his eyes, because as soon as the ball hit his hands, it just dropped and died right at his feet. O'Kelly flew in there and hit him right when he was trying to pick the ball up, and a big turnover in Brush's favor, and a big heads-up play by the Brush coaching staff going for the block on that play.
Well, the ball is now on the 11. The Diggers down by 15, 4:01 to go. If they can score here in the next minute, they don't want to waste time, obviously, especially with the ball deep in the red zone. They've still got a shot in this game. One man in the backfield. Ginther rolling to his left, looking for the block. Sets up, going to go to his right. He's got to get rid of the football. Gets the block as he rolls to his right. Now is probably going to be sacked. Oh, he gets away. He's at the 15 to 10 to 9. Oh, he got 2 yards, but he ran about 50. A.J. Wharton made the play. It's a gain of 2. But again, that favors Burlington. You've got to be able to get rid of the football. I'm going to tell you what, Dave, that clock started late.
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe that's a little bit, a little home field advantage there for Brush, I guess. But you know what's funny is I happened to be watching the crowd out of the corner of my eye as Ginther was running around. Ginther was running to the left, and so was the whole crowd. And as he ran to the right, the whole crowd ran over to the right. They were all feeling it.
2nd down and 8. Beat Diggers from the Burlington 9. Ginther is going to hand it off in the middle to Hepner. He's at the 5. He spins to around the 4, maybe the 3. Nate Hepner running hard across the left side. Colt Reams and A.J. Wharton make the play, but not before. The Beat Diggers senior fullback gets 5 yards, and that'll set up a 3rd down and 3. But again, the clock is running. 3 minutes and 9 seconds to go, and the Diggers are down by 2 scores. And it could still be 2 if they score here and don't get the 2-point conversion of the extra point. 3rd down and goal. Make it 3rd and 3 for the 4. Samples in motion to the right. Ginther looking, play action, throw, wide open, touchdown. Kyle Temple towards the left corner of the end zone on the 4-yard pass from Joe Ginther. The Diggers are back on the board. Burlington's lead is down to 9. It's 35-26.
That ball kind of floated out there against the wind. It kind of wavered in the air. It was like a duck flying out there. And Temple, he was just able to pull that thing in and make that touchdown. And again, Brush knocking on the door. These kids haven't given up. But I think, like you were saying, this conversion in PAT is just so important.
Boy, you know, you wish you had a kicker that you could rely on. Well, Shiloh Bridge is injured. What can you do? They're going to have to go for 2 here, and they would need 2 scores if they don't get this conversion. This is the biggest play right now for Brush. They've had many big ones. Ginther, play action, looking. He's got to get out of pressure. He wants to run the football. He's out of pressure. Now he's going to be hit at the 4, and that's it. He's down. He got away from 3 Cougars, but too many there. Couldn't find a man wide open. And the Diggers are down 9 with 2:54 to go in the game. Back in 30. This is KSIR. John Beltran, Dave Urich back from Beat Digger Stadium in Brush for this Class 2A quarterfinal playoff game. The Diggers draw to within 9 at 35-26. Brush got a 4-yard pass from Joe Ginther to Kyle Temple. 67-yard drive, even though they only went 11 yards. They do have 3 timeouts with 2:54 remaining, and they've got to go to the onside kick right now. There's no question about it. It will be kicked off by Godinez from the 40-yard line. And it looks like what they call the hands team could be in there for Burlington. A.J. Wharton is one of the men up just beyond the 50. The Diggers have to make sure that they do not go offsides on this kick from Cardenas. He's got his right hand up in the air. Let's see if he decides to kick it off, but you got to think onside kick. Now it's kicked into the ground. Hasn't gone 10 yards yet, and now it has. Oh, it's covered by Burlington. Oh, what a play over there by Burlington's Brock Mangus. After it appeared the Beat Diggers had an open shot at the ball.
Brock Mangus, only a junior, you know, that ball was on about the 10-yard, 1-inch line when he just flew up from about 5 yards back and took possession of the ball. And the Diggers did a great job at knocking down the Burlington hands team, and there was nobody there to receive it. They thought they had the ball for sure, and he just flew in there and took over possession.
Burlington has the football just beyond the 50-yard line on the Beat Diggers side of the field. The Beat Diggers do have 3 timeouts, and they're going to have to use them up on this defensive stance right now. It'd be nice if they can get a turnover and not have to use any timeouts. 1st and 10. Josiah Medley, the quarterback, with Hendricks in the backfield along with Martins. At the 50, the handoff right side, Martins. If they can force him out of bounds, that would be nice, and they do. Out of bounds at around the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 1, and Martins took a shot there towards the end, but it was not a late hit. And head coach Randy Dreitz, making sure that he was okay, picked him up off the cement. And it's a gain of 1. That's big for the Diggers. They save at least 1 timeout.
You bet. I think what happened there, for a minute there, I thought we hit him, the Diggers hit him a little bit late, but I think he just tripped right there over the long jump runway.
2nd down and 9, Burlington from the Brush 48. 2 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the game. You know this is going to be run for the Cougars. Medley, handoff to Hendricks, left side. He's in at the line of scrimmage, nailed. Josh Deal just plastered him and threw him for a half-yard loss. The Diggers take a timeout. 2:38 to go. Fourth quarter. Burlington 35, Brush 26 on AM 1010 KSIR. Third down and 9 for Burlington. They are at the 49-yard line of Brush in a must-stop situation for the Beat Diggers. With 2:38 to go in the game, Burlington is up by 2 scores at 35-26. And yeah, you could call this a passing situation, but let's see what Burlington decides to do. Glenn Higgs is an excellent coach, and I would think that he's going to try to force the Beat Diggers to use a timeout by running the football, but you never know. 3rd and 9 for the 49. Medley under center. He's going to hand it off in the middle. Big hole. This is going to be a first down. It is for Hendricks. Oh, boy, the Beat Diggers missed the tackle at the 42. Down to around the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 11, and that might have sealed the deal for the Cougars.
Yeah, the clock's just, well, actually, the Diggers stopped the clock there. 2:33 left. I don't know.
Well, they have stopped the clock, but when you stop it when the other team gets a first down, your prospects for even being competitive now for the remainder of the game are very slim. They're down to 1 timeout. We will keep it right here. Kevin Schaefer, after this game, we'll have the scoreboard show right here on AM 1010. I know, Dave, that was discouraging because the Diggers have had plays like that this afternoon, which have resulted in big plays for Burlington. They've had them after 2 or 3 or perhaps 5 yards, and instead the Cougars go for double digits on some of these runs.
Yeah, and that's been the Achilles heel of Brush, kind of all season. We've had teams, I've said it before, be really nervous when, it's like we got a team that's it's 4th down and 3 yards to go this year, and it's like... But anytime we had a team like, 3rd and long, 4th and long, anything like that, it seemed like they're able to pick up the first down or even more. So, that's just real discouraging for the Diggers there on that last play.
Well, I guess Brush right now has to go for the ball. There's just no other way. You've got to try to strip that football. At the 38-yard line, following Brush's second timeout, Burlington on the Brush side of the field. 1st and 10, receivers split left and right. Handoff up the middle to Martins, and he's got good yardage across the 35 to about the 32. Josh Deal, Tyler Ferrancini, David Cummings around the football, but it's a gain of 6 yards to go, and Burlington just running clock 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go in Brush's season.
Yeah, Burlington's just going to go ahead and turn this game over to their offensive line and just keep pounding away at Brush and force Brush to hold them short or create a turnover. But as long as they're running right up the middle, really high percentage plays for Burlington, and it's looking bleak for the Diggers.
2nd down and 4. Burlington for the Brush 32 with the backs remaining split. Hand off to Hendricks. Hit after a yard, maybe 2 yards as Jared Marwitz tried to go for the ball. He stripped it, but they say it was after the whistle was blown. So it's a gain, we'll call it, of 1 to the 31. It's still a very good situation for Burlington. 3rd down and 3. The Diggers take a timeout. 1:37 remaining in the game. Burlington by 9 over the Beat Diggers, 35-26 on AM 1010 KSIR. 3rd down and 3 for Burlington at the 31-yard line of Brush. The Beat Diggers have no timeouts remaining, and they've reset the clock to 1:39. And it looks like Burlington just has to run out the clock, and they will advance to the semifinals. Medley up the middle, driving towards the marker, very close on the quarterback sneak over that left guard, and he is right at the stick. It's going to be a gain of 3, and I believe he has the first down. They're going to bring out the sticks, I would think, because it's very, very close.
Yeah, they stopped the clock, and they're bringing the sticks out, and I'm sure Burlington would have preferred, either to well, I don't know. I think they just would have preferred to get the first down there.
Well, they're going to say 4th down.
Yep.
Well, boy, 4th down and maybe, 2 inches?
Well, just because it was so short, the officials had to stop the clock there for a minute, take a look at it. I'm sure Burlington, they wish they would have been way far off for a first down.
Handoff, first down, Martins into the clear, 5, touchdown for Cody Martins, yet another score. This one from 28 yards away. The Cougars have broken the 40-point mark, 41-26.
real frustrating, just running the ball right up the middle. And again, some missed tackles right there at the line of scrimmage. Good contact to start off with, but just not able to hold on. And Martin just ran in the end zone. There was nobody there to tackle him.
Well, they took a chance there, obviously. The extra point by Gately is up, and that one is good. A minute 15 to go, 42-26. The Diggers trail the Cougars on AM 1010 KSIR. John Beltran, Dave Urich back from Beat Digger Stadium in Brush, where it's been an explosion in the second half for the Burlington Cougars, leading 7-6 at the break. They have scored 5 touchdowns in this half, and they lead 42-26. The latest drive, 7 plays, 50 yards. And getting into the end zone was Cody Martin's a 28-yard run. And the kickoff by Gately, a low line drive, will bounce at the 20, still bouncing, fumbled at the 6-yard line, picked up by O'Kelly there. He's at the 10, stutter steps to around the 15, and he's down for a return of 9. And now the Diggers need a miracle with 69 seconds remaining.
I'll tell you what, I don't think we're going to see him quit, because one thing's for sure in this game that makes me real proud is I've seen the kids not quit. There was a lot of opportunities when they were quite a 2 touchdowns down, and they could have folded, but they never did. They just kept on fighting, and we're not going to see them quit here.
Well, I'm surprised that Burlington only has 2 defensive backs back there. 1st and 10 from the 16. Back to passes Ginther. Here comes the pressure. Now he'll run with a football at the 20, looking sideline. Gets to the 25-yard line, short of a first down. He does gain 9 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 1, but the time is running quickly in Burlington's favor. 48 seconds to go in Brush's season. Checking out of the game is Greg Geno. 35 seconds to go. The Beat Diggers with a football at their own 25-yard line. Back to pass, Ginther looking middle. He's going to be sacked. And that is the story of the second half, even though Burlington has given up chunks of yardage to the Beat Diggers, and that's a sack of 4 yards. This Burlington defense has really pressured Ginther, Dave.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they've controlled the line of scrimmage, and they're just big. They're big. They're a big team. They're a good football team. They were the better football team here today, and they just been controlling the line of scrimmage, and Ginther just hasn't been able to have any time to get the pass off.
Justin Hemphill made the sack. That was the last play of the game. The final score, the Burlington Cougars 42, the Brush Beat Diggers 26. We'll come back with a recap. We'll do that in 3 minutes on AM 1010 KSIR. The first half, as we're joined by head coach Randy Dreitz, whose team finishes his 2002 season with a record of 8-3. And Coach, I know you guys didn't get the victory this afternoon, but certainly, the team left it all on the line. A couple of mistakes that could have been avoided, could have got your team the victory. But nonetheless, this is the defending state champions, and I think you proved this afternoon that even with a loss, you can obviously play with this team, Coach.
Yeah, we thought coming in that we could play with them, but we knew coming in that we'd have to have a great game and not make mistakes. And I thought first half we did a lot of good things defensively. They were held to hardly any yards. Second half we broke down a little bit, and they got some big yards on us, and I don't know what went wrong. We weren't doing much different. Maybe they made great adjustments at halftime, but hats off to Burlington. They're a real good football team. They've got big kids, and they just keep coming at you and pounding the ball at you. And they're real patient. You can tell that they're experienced, and their coach does a good job of preparing them to play. But I do want to say, I'm extremely proud of our football team for the effort they've gave this year. Our seniors who are great leaders. We just had a lot of great effort from our football players this year, and it's fun to coach when you have the effort that these guys have been given day in and day out. And they played as a team, and they did a good job for us, I thought.
Well, you were down by 20 points in the third quarter, Coach, and could that be the building block this season? Could that be the synopsis of the team down by 20 and you cut it to 6 points when you easily could have thrown it in the tank and say, hey, let Burlington win it. They won it last year and come away with a victory. And obviously that's when your team responded and kept this a ball game when it could have been a blowout.
Exactly. There's no quitting these guys. I think that you've seen that today, and you've seen it throughout the year. and I'm sure proud of that fact that there's no quit in them. They're going to keep fighting and scratching and clawing to get as much as they can. And they did today, and that last touchdown Burlington had, I think we were probably gambling a little bit, trying to stop them on the 4th and 1 inch, thinking, and we'll have to watch film, see what happened, but, you take away that touchdown, and probably a dumb call on my part to pass the ball down in their own area where they sacked us for a sack. That was probably pretty dumb, but hindsight's 20/20, I guess.
The funny thing is that you said yesterday, Coach, in your interview with Pat, that you had to play great defense to win the game. Now, everybody's going to look in the paper and say, well, Burlington scored 42 points. Brush must have played horrible defense. But if you look at the first, second, and fourth quarters, you could have played much better defense. It was just a few big plays that Burlington had. They never really drove the football down the field on a consistent basis.
Yeah, that's true. I thought the third quarter they had those big, long runs, and that really killed us. And but these guys are a good football team, and I wish them the best of luck.
Well, finally, Coach, can you breathe a sigh of relief going into the off season that the Brush program is headed in the right direction, or do you feel that you need to string 2 or 3 of these seasons together in order to come away with that feeling?
Well, I'd like to string more than 2 or 3 of these seasons together. I have been in the Brush program for quite a while. I like this, but I tell you what, I've never appreciated it as much as I have this year, and it's great to be back in the playoffs and get Brush football back to where it needs to be.
Last thing, Coach, did you feel that you needed to go through some losing seasons? Obviously, you didn't want them, but did you need to go through some losing seasons in order to climb these hurdles and maybe even make yourself a better coach?
Well, maybe that was it. One of the dear Lord knows, and I didn't like being in those losing seasons, and the seniors that we had at the time, I'm sure they didn't like it. I often ask myself if it had been different if Coach Mills would have been back, but I don't know, and we'll never know. But I sure tried to do the best job I could then, and just like I did this year, and I definitely have learned a few things over the years, and hopefully I keep learning and get to be a better coach.
Well, Randy, 8-3, fabulous job. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
the season. Final 8 for the Brush Beat Diggers. The first half is we're joined by head coach Randy Dreitz, whose team finishes his 2002 season with a record of 8-3. And, Coach, I know you guys didn't get the victory this afternoon, but certainly, the team left it all on the line. A couple of mistakes that could have been avoided, could have got your team the victory. But nonetheless, this is the defending state champions, and I think you proved this afternoon that even with a loss, you can obviously play with this team, Coach.
Yeah, we thought coming in that we could play with them, but we knew coming in that we'd have to have a great game and not make mistakes. And, I thought first half we did, a lot of good things defensively. They were held to hardly any yards. Second half we broke down a little bit, and they got some big yards on us, and I don't know what went wrong. We weren't doing much different. Maybe they made great adjustments at halftime, but hats off to Burlington. They're a real good football team. They've got big kids, and they just keep coming at you and pounding the ball at you. And they're real patient. You can tell that they're experienced, and their coach does a good job of preparing them to play. But I do want to say, I'm extremely proud of our football team for the effort they've gave this year. Our seniors who are great leaders. We just had a lot of great effort from our football players this year, and it's fun to coach when you have the effort that these guys have been given day in and day out. And they played as a team, and they did a good job for us, I thought.
Well, you were down by 20 points in the third quarter, Coach, and could that be the building block this season? Could that be the synopsis of the team down by 20 and you cut it to 6 points when you easily could have thrown it in the tank and say, hey, let Burlington win it. They won it last year and come away with a victory. And obviously that's when your team responded and kept this a ball game when it could have been a blowout.
Exactly. There's no quitting these guys. I think that you've seen that today, and you've seen it throughout the year. And I'm sure proud of that fact that there's no quit in them. They're going to keep fighting and scratching and clawing to get as much as they can. They did today, and that last touchdown Burlington had, I think we were probably gambling a little bit, trying to stop them on the 4th and 1 inch, thinking, you know, and we'll have to watch film, see what happened, but, you know, you take away that touchdown, and probably a dumb call on my part to pass the ball down in their own area where they sacked us for a sack. That was probably pretty dumb, but, you know, hindsight's 20/20, I guess.
You know, the funny thing is that you said yesterday, Coach, in your interview with Pat, that you had to play great defense to win the game. Now, everybody's going to look in the paper and say, well, Burlington scored 42 points. Brush must have played horrible defense. But if you look at the first, second, and fourth quarters, you could have played much better defense. It was just a few big plays that Burlington had. They never really drove the football down the field on a consistent basis.
Yeah, that's true. I thought the third quarter they had those big, long runs, and that really killed us. And but, you know, these guys are a good football team, and I wish them the best of luck.
Well, finally, Coach, can you breathe a sigh of relief going into the off-season that the Brush program is headed in the right direction, or do you feel that you need to string 2 or 3 of these seasons together in order to come away with that feeling?
I'd like to string more than 2 or 3 of these seasons together. I have been in the Brush program for quite a while. I like this, but I tell you what, I've never appreciated it as much as I have this year. And it's great to be back in the playoffs and get Brush football back to where it needs to be.
Last thing, Coach, did you feel that you needed to go through some losing seasons? Obviously, you didn't want them, but did you need to go through some losing seasons in order to climb these hurdles and maybe even make yourself a better coach?
Well, you know, maybe that was it. One of the dear Lord knows, and I didn't like being in those losing seasons, and the seniors that we had at the time, I'm sure they didn't like it. I often ask myself if it had been different if Coach Mills would have been back, but I don't know, and we'll never know. But I sure tried to do the best job I could then, and just like I did this year, and I definitely have learned a few things over the years, and hopefully I keep learning and get to be a better coach.
Well, Randy, 8-3, fabulous job. Congratulations on the season. Final 8 for the Brush Beat Diggers.